All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the World Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm your host, DB Love. We are here. This is the World Football Alliance playoff preview special. We're going to get you caught up on the World Football Alliance playoffs that are coming very soon. We're about to start them. We want to get you up to date. We'll cover playoff matchups and we'll go over the season awards for both the Alliance and United Division. As usual, we'll start things off in the Alliance Division. We're going to start off with the year-end rankings from the regular season in the Alliance Division. We will start from the bottom up, and we have a huge announcement right here. We are going to be utilizing promotion and relegation here in the World Football Alliance. We still have to work some things out, but with saying that, we start off at the bottom of the Alliance Division. Last place, Chicago Tigers, finished with a record of 2-10. They are going to be eligible for relegation from the Alliance Division. Second to last was Austin Desperados at 3-9. They are also going to be eligible for relegation. And third from last, Sacramento Condors at 4-8. They are going to be eligible for relegation. Those three teams are eligible. We have to work out the particulars to see which team or teams may be relegated. Maybe all three, maybe two, maybe one. In no particular order. We're going to have to see how that works out. But those three teams are eligible for relegation. Up next, fourth from last, just missing. They are safe. They will be back. Is the London Black Knights. They finished at 5-7. Up next, Orlando Wizards also finished at 5-7. Mexico City Golden Eagles finished at 5-7. Oklahoma City Nighthawks at 5-7. Toronto Thunderbirds at 5-7. Big chunk of teams there at 5-7 in the Alliance Division. They're safe. Moving up the board, Houston Voyagers finished at 6-6, and the San Antonio Marshals finished at 6-6. All right, now we get into our playoff teams for the Alliance Division. Top 6 in the Alliance Division. Salt Lake City Elks were the lone team with a 7-5 record. Memphis Hounds finished at 8-4, as did the San Diego Aftershock and the Portland Snowhawks. Second place in the Alliance Division was the Columbus Aviators at 9-3, and first place United's Division, Brooklyn Barons at 10-2. So that gets us to our playoff matchups. There will be 4 teams in action in the first round, the wild card round. 2 teams have a bye. Those teams with a bye are the first place Brooklyn Barons and the San Diego Aftershock. So let's get to the playoff matchups in the United's Division. Check it out.
And here is our first wild card matchup in the Alliance Division. We will have the Portland Snowhawks taking on the Columbus Aviators. Columbus Aviators come into this one with a record of 9-3, just ahead of the Portland Snowhawks with a record of 8-4. This should be a good game, folks. And here is the second of the 2 wild card playoff games here to start the World Football Alliance playoffs In the Alliance Division, Salt Lake City Elks will take on the Memphis Hounds. Salt Lake City come into this game with a record of 7-5 in the regular season. Memphis Hounds one game better at 8-4. Salt Lake City will be bringing division MVP quarterback Anthony Stork to take on the Hounds. Anthony Stork won that award just ahead of Jackson Harding's quarterback for Memphis, finished second to Anthony in both Offensive Player of the Year and Division MVP. This will be a high-powered offense battle between two phenomenal quarterbacks.
And there you have it, our 2 playoff games in the first round in the Alliance Division. Look to be good ones. Snowhawks take on the Aviators. Elks take on the Hounds. Now we're going to get into the yearly awards for the Alliance Division. Check these out.
Alright, we start things off with your Alliance Division Most Valuable Player this year, Anthony Stork, quarterback for the Salt Lake City Elks. Anthony Stork, 6'2", 215 pounds, 11-year veteran out of the University of Texas. You see his numbers there for this year. Anthony passed for 4,306 yards. He completed 67% of his passes, threw for 39 passing touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions, had a quarterback rating on the season of 109.7, averaged 8.2 yards per pass, and had a long pass of 85 yards. So congratulations to this year's Alliance Division Most Valuable Player in the division, Anthony Stork. In addition to MVP, Anthony also took home Offensive Player of the Year as well as the Best Quarterback Award. So congratulations to Anthony Stork, who will battle it out with the United Division MVP for the title of League MVP, which will be voted on by you, the viewers. And up next, we hand out the Coach of the Year award in the Alliance Division. Goes to head coach of the Brooklyn Barons, Sean Church. Sean led the Brooklyn Barons to a first place finish in the Alliance Division with a 10-2 record. Congratulations, Coach Church. Up next, we have the Defensive Player of the Year in the Alliance Division. The award goes to Carlos Khalil, middle linebacker for the San Diego Aftershocks. Carlos Khalil, 6'1", 240 pound, 5-year veteran out of the University of Stanford. Carlos finished the year with 111 solo tackles, 32 assists, 5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 16 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery. Congratulations, Carlos Khalil. Up next, we give out the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. The award goes to Rashad Blackman, halfback for the Austin Desperados. In his first year in the league, out of Florida, University of Florida, Rashad stands 6'2", 206 pounds. This year he carried the ball 363 times for 1,226 yards. He averaged 3.4 yards a carry and got into the end zone 3 times. He averaged 76.6 yards a game. Rushing out of the backfield, his longest this year was 51 yards rushed. He played in all 12 games for Austin. Congratulations, Rashad Blackman. And now for the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. That award goes to Lawrence Alexander, strong safety for the Portland Snowhawks in his first year out of the University of Cincinnati. Lawrence stands 6 foot, weighs 209 pounds. He had 77 solo tackles, 41 assists. Had 1 tackle for a loss, half a sack, and 1 interception. He also had 11 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 2 defensive touchdowns, and played in all 12 games. Congratulations, Lawrence Alexander. Alright, we start now with the best of awards for each position in the Alliance Division. We've already stated that the best quarterback award went to the division MVP, Anthony Stork. So we will start now with the best running back award, which goes to Pierce Steed, halfback for the Brooklyn Barons in only his second year as a professional out of Georgia Southern. He stands 5'11", 231 pounds. Pierce carried the ball 378 times this year for 1,447 yards. He averaged 3.8 yards a carry, 90.4 yards a game, and rushed for 13 touchdowns this year. His longest run of the year was 68 yards. Congratulations, Pierce. Up next, we go to the Best Wide Receiver Award. The award is given to James Villarreal, wide receiver for the San Antonio Marshals. James is a 6-year man out of Alabama. He is 6'2", 205 pounds. James had 79 receptions this year for 1,241 yards. He had an average of 15.7 yards a catch, 77.6 yards a game, and had 14 receiving touchdowns on the year. His longest of the year was 69 yards. Congratulations, James. Up next, we award the Best Offensive Lineman Award. This award goes to the man who protected the division MVP, Damon John, right tackle for the Salt Lake City Elks. Damon is a 5-year man out of Texas, 6'5", 314 pounds. Damon played all 12 games and 1,191 downs played this season. Congratulations. Up next, we award the Best Defensive Lineman Award. This award goes to right end Deion Daniels for the Brooklyn Barons. In only his 3rd year as a professional out of Wisconsin, Deion is 6'4", 293 pounds. Deion tallied 67 solo tackles this year, along with 31 assists. He also had 20 tackles for losses and 14 sacks. Congratulations, Dion. Our next award is the Best Linebacker Award, which has been awarded to Morgan Campbell, left outside linebacker for the Houston Voyagers. Morgan is a 7-year veteran out of University of Richmond. He is 6'4", 237 pounds. This year, Morgan had 65 solo tackles, 32 assisted tackles. He had 9 tackles for loss, 14 and a half sacks from the linebacker position. He also deflected a pass, had 2 forced fumbles. Great year for Morgan Campbell. Our next award is the Best Defensive Back Award. That goes to a man who had a phenomenal season all year long, consistent every game. Jamichael Claybrooks, cornerback for the Brooklyn Barons, 6-year man out of Arkansas. He is 5'11", 183 pounds. Jamichael had 54 solo tackles, 26 assisted tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, 5 interceptions for 71 yards. He averaged 14 yards per interception return. His longest interception return was 45 yards. He also broke up 11 passes, only allowed 11 catches all year long, forced 1 fumble, had 1 fumble recovery. Great year for Jamichael Claybrooks. And our last award for best of position is the Best Kicker Award. Here in the Alliance Division, the best kicker is awarded to Cooper Keller of the Oklahoma City Nighthawks. Cooper is a 14-year veteran out of Auburn. He stands 5'8", weighs 181 pounds. Cooper was 25 of 27 on field goal attempts this year for 92% average. His longest field goal this year was 55 yards. He was also 40 of 41 on extra points for a 97% average. He made 13 field goals. He was 13 of 13 on field goals within 30 yards, 3 of 3 within 40 yards, 7 of 7 within 50 yards. Missed 2, his 2 field goal misses came from 50 plus yards. He also performed kickoffs for the Nighthawks. In 85 kickoffs, he had 47 touchbacks. Good year for Cooper Keller.
There you have it. Congratulations to all of those players in the Alliance Division. Now let's switch over to the United Division. Get ready for those playoffs. Cover those year-end standings. We'll start off with the end-of-year standings for the regular season. Only one team qualified for relegation in the United Division. Much more compact records in the United Division than it was in the Alliance. Last place in the division was the Memphis Steamers. They finished at 2-10. They will be the only team eligible for relegation. We'll have to see also how that works out, but they are the only team that qualifies for that. Moving up, 2 wins better was the Houston Gunners at 4-8 and the Sacramento Miners at 4-8. Moving up from there, Portland Lumberjacks were 5-7, Mexico City Conquistadors 5-7, and Columbus Caps 5-7. Moving up, San Diego Crusaders were 6-6, Brooklyn Beats were 6-6, and Toronto Huskies were 6-6. Moving up from there, Chicago Blues were 7-5, Dublin Celtic Tigers 7-5, Oklahoma City Bison were 7-5, and San Antonio Dreadnoughts and London Monarchs were 7-5. Huge chunk of teams there at 7-5. Top 2 teams in the division, Salt Lake City Pioneers finished at 8-4, and the Austin Armadillos win the division at 10-2. So let's get you to the playoff matchups in the United Division. A little bit of a mix-up. We will tell you that 2 teams with a bye in the first round were the Austin Armadillos, of course, the division winners at 10-2, as well as the London Monarchs have a bye. So here are your first round matchups. Take a look.
All right, our first playoff matchup in the United Division will be San Antonio Dreadnoughts taking on Salt Lake City Pioneers. Pioneers finished the regular season with an 8-4 record. They will be the favorite going into this game, taking on the Dreadnoughts, who finished the year with a 7-5 record. This should be a good one. And the second matchup this week in the United Division playoffs will be Oklahoma City Bisons taking on the Toronto Huskies. Oklahoma City favored in this one. They come in with a regular season record of 7-5. Toronto Huskies, the last team to slide into the United Division playoffs, come in with a record of 6-6. Toronto Huskies do bring the best wide receiver in the division, Clint Bannon. This should be a good battle.
All right, we are looking forward to those matchups, Dreadnoughts versus Pioneers and Bisons versus Huskies. Toronto sneaking into the playoffs. Congratulations to them. Here are your yearly award winners in the United Division. Check them out.
All right, we start things off in the yearly awards with the MVP of the United Division. That award goes to Cooper Chamora, quarterback for the division-leading Austin Armadillos. Cooper passed for 4,405 yards this season, threw for 30 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, had a 65% pass completion percentage. He averaged 275 yards a game with a passer rating of 99.5. Averaged 7.6 yards per pass. His longest of the year, 77 yards. Congratulations to the division MVP, Cooper Chamora. And the Coach of the Year award in the United Division goes to Coach Dan Kugler, head coach also of the Austin Armadillos. He led the Armadillos to a first place finish in the United Division with a 10-2 record. Congratulations, Coach Kugler. All right, our Offensive Player of the Year is also Cooper Chamora. He won that along with Most Valuable Player, so we jump ahead now to Defensive Player of the Year in the United Division. It is the middle linebacker for the Houston Gunners, Darian Sawyer. Darian, 6'2", 237 pounds, 8-year man out of Villanova, is your Defensive Player of the Year in the United Division. Darian had 122 solo tackles, assisted on 43, 8 tackles for losses, 2.5 sacks, 5 interceptions for 45 yards, averaged 9 yards per interception return. His longest was 12. He deflected 6 passes, forced 1 fumble, played all 16 games. All 12 games for the Houston Gunners. Your Defensive Player of the Year in the United Division, Darian Sawyer. Up next, we go to Offensive Rookie of the Year award. That award goes to Rhett Ersman, quarterback for the Memphis Steamers. Rhett, 6'2", 227 pounds. Of course, he's a rookie out of Florida State University. Rhett threw for 4,501 yards, 22 touchdowns, also threw 22 interceptions. That's an extremely high amount, but he is a rookie. 59% completion on the year, averaged 281 yards a game, a quarterback rating of 78, averaged 7 yards a pass. His longest was for 70 yards, played in all 12 games. Congratulations, Rhett Ersman. Up next, we give out the Defensive Rookie of the Year award. That award goes to left outside linebacker for the Chicago Blues, Daniel Patton, 6'3", 229-pound rookie out of Oklahoma. Daniel had 86 solo tackles, assisted on 29 tackles. He had 9 tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks, 2 interceptions for 54 yards. One of those he ran back for 41 yards, 3 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 2 defensive touchdowns, played all 12 games for the Chicago Blues. Great rookie year for Daniel Patton. Congratulations. All right, we now get into the best of awards for each position. Best quarterback award also goes to Cooper Chamora, along with MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Cooper Chamora takes home 3 awards. We'll shoot over next to Best Running Back Award. The award goes to running back for San Diego Crusaders, Terrell Worrell, 5'10", 213 pounds, 7-year man out of Kansas State. Terrell ran the ball 295 times during the year for 1,254 yards, averaged 4.3 yards a carry, had 10 rushing touchdowns on the year. He averaged 96.5 yards per game, only 2 fumbles all year long, 24 broken tackles. Longest run of the year was 31 yards. Congratulations, Terrell. Up next, Best Wide Receiver Award goes to wide receiver for the Toronto Huskies, Clint Bannon, 6'2", 205 pounds, 7-year man out of UCLA. Clint had 103 catches on the year for 1,558 yards, averaged 15 yards per reception, 97 yards per game, 7 receiving touchdowns on the year. Longest was 80 yards. Great season for Clint. Congratulations. Up next, we go to the Best Offensive Lineman Award. That award goes to Rodman Ware, left tackle for Mexico City Conquistadors. He is 6'7", 331 pounds, 7-year man out of Northern Illinois. Only allowed 2 sacks all year long. Played all 12 games. Played 1,088 downs. Congratulations, Rodman. Up next, Best Defensive Lineman Award. That award goes to the left end for the Austin Armadillos, Stanley Curtis. Stanley, 6'5", 302 pounds. Out of Texas, Stanley had 61 solo tackles on the year, 35 assisted tackles, 16 tackles for losses, 12.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Outstanding year for the young man Stanley Curtis. All right, the Best Linebacker Award also goes to Defensive Player of the Year, Darian Sawyer for Houston Gunners. So we jump ahead to the Best Defensive Back Award. That goes to DeAndre Carpenter, cornerback for San Diego Crusaders. DeAndre, 5'11", 206 pound, third-year man out of Stanford. DeAndre had 57 solo tackles this year, 22 assisted tackles, 6 interceptions on the year for 99 return yards, averaged 16.5 yards per interception return. His longest was 21 yards, deflected 9 passes, only allowed 6 catches all year long. Forced 3 fumbles, recovered 1 fumble for 9 yards. Great year in the secondary for DeAndre Carpenter. And our last award, Best Kicker, goes to Graham Weaver, kicker for the Columbus Caps. He is 6'1", 180 pound, 13-year veteran out of Southern Miss. Graham had a phenomenal year in the United Division, went 26 of 27 on field goals for 96%. His longest of the year, 52 yards, went perfect on extra points, 42 for 42. He was 7 of 7 within 30 yards, 5 of 5 within 40, 9 of 9 inside of 50 yards. His lone miss on the year came from outside of 50 yards. Had 46 touchbacks. Congratulations, Graham.
So there you have it. We're up to date. This has been the playoff preview. Cannot wait for the playoffs. Congratulations to all of the players that won awards. As I said, we are looking for your vote for league MVP. We need you to vote for either Cooper Chamora, quarterback for Austin Armadillos, who was MVP of the United Division, or Anthony Stork, quarterback of Salt Lake City Elks, who was MVP for the Alliance Division. Please comment in any of our videos. Let us know who you vote for MVP, and that will determine who is the overall MVP for the World Football Alliance. It is up to you guys. Please vote. Please tune in for the playoffs. Our first matchup, Portland Snowhawks and Columbus Aviators, will be coming to you soon, as well as Salt Lake City Elks and Memphis Hounds. We'll do highlights from both games in one video. We'll do one video for Alliance Division playoffs covering those 2 games, and then we'll do another video for United's Division first round playoffs covering their 2 games. Please check those out. Vote for MVP. Thanks for tuning in. Please tune in for these playoff games. Check out the United States Basketball Championship. And we have another announcement coming at you, a new show. Stay tuned for that. We'll see you guys in the playoffs.